Wonderful. Thank you all for being here. Welcome to today's Skill Up. My name is Emily Sprenger. I am an academic learning specialist at National University, and I am joined by my colleague, Dr. Heidi Sublette, for creating digital portfolios today. And we're so thrilled to be able to offer this as a part of our Skill Up series. A couple of very brief items to keep in mind before we move into the content of today's session. We are recording today's session, and we absolutely welcome you to have conversation in the chat if you would like to, or ask questions in the chat. The other space to ask questions would be the Q&A. It's a little bit more of a formal space for me to keep track of the questions as we move through today's session. So I do encourage you to post them in there. And then in case we don't get to all of your questions today, we can always do a follow-up and try to point you to some of the additional resources that might be helpful for you from today's session. The scrolling subtitles are available, so feel free to enable those if you would like to for your viewing pleasure. And if you have any questions at all, any technical needs, you can find me in the chat. I'm happy to help you out. Feel free to message me directly if you need something on your end. Dr. Sublette, I think that about does it for my items I wanted to cover briefly in the beginning, and I'd like to pass it over to you so you can dive into today's content.
Wonderful. Thank you, Emily. Hi, everyone. I am Dr. Heidi Sublette. I'm so excited to be here with all of you today to talk about creating digital portfolios. I really love this topic because not only have I've seen students succeed from having a professional portfolio, but I look back and wish I had one. And so I think it would have given me a lot of leverage in my past and really helped me. So based on the success that I've seen from students, I wanted to share this with all of you today. So thank you for joining me. So just a quick overview of what we are going to cover in this session. Why is a digital portfolio even important? What are the benefits? What are the multiple types of portfolios? Because there are so many. How do you get started with creating a portfolio? What things are critical to avoid when creating a portfolio? And then we will take a look at some examples of things of what to do and what not to do, and some really stellar portfolios. And we will be stopping for questions in the middle of the presentation and then at the end. So again, I encourage you to post questions in the chat and we will get to them. Or you can come off mute when it's time. Thank you so much. But just to get started, I do want to put up a quick poll to ask all of you a couple of questions just to see what experiences that you may have already had with using or creating portfolios, to give me an idea of what the needs of our group are today. And Emily is going to help launch that poll. So you should see 2 questions on your screen.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Sublette. I did launch the poll, so all of our attendees should be able to see them now. Okay, Heidi, if it's all right with you, I do believe the people who are able to participate have entered in their responses. I'm going to go ahead and end the poll. And I'll share the results with you.
Okay, wonderful. So it looks like, based on our results, that quite a few of you are just gathering information and deciding if you need a portfolio, and know that you need one. And then just very few of you already have one, but I promise you this session will let you decide what you can add further to your portfolio. All right, and then the second one, yay, most of you are excited to learn new tools, which clearly aligns why you're here, because you're here to learn something new about technology and a tool that you can use to leverage your ability to stand out as you look for your future journey or career. All right, so I'm going to keep going. Thank you so much for sharing with me. All right, so why do we need a portfolio? So it's really a curated collection of your work that demonstrates your skills, achievements, and professional growth. It's giving you a chance to showcase and highlight all of those amazing things that you've been doing, either in your career or in your school program, that you want to highlight. And you get to put it out there, which is so great, because you've worked so hard. So you should show it off. It's not just a resume, it's a visual representation of your capabilities, creativity, and expertise. It really helps potential employers or clients to see not only your qualifications, but also your process, your style, and then your impact. This is something that you would want to create, then add as a link to your resume in an email or even on your LinkedIn page. It offers you an opportunity to really market yourself. Give yourself a brand so that you stand out from others who are applying for similar positions. All right, we're going to keep going. So what are the benefits? There are tons and tons of benefits to having a digital portfolio. So first, it really creates a personal connection for the employer. They will feel like they already have a sense of who you are, the work you do, and what you may even accomplish before they even interview you, which is huge because again, you're a step above the rest. A portfolio lets you highlight real examples of your original work rather than just listing your skills and experiences on a resume. You can include things like case studies, project summaries, design mock-ups to really illustrate how you apply your expertise and what value you'll bring to that company or organization. They're also a great way to display any professional development that you've completed that you'd want to highlight. So if you've done LinkedIn learning courses, gone above and beyond other things in your program or highlight key courses in your program to show that you've learned direct skills as a match for that potential organization or employer. Portfolios really provide tangible evidence of your learning, adaptability, and any improvements in your field. So because you all are coming out of school now, you are going to be the most knowledgeable about current trends in the fields. And some fields require portfolios like graphic design, instructional design, writing, marketing, web development. So there's so many careers out there that really require a portfolio. And then for other fields, like in business or sales, a strong portfolio really can make you more memorable and stand out, really will increase your chances of landing opportunities because you can include your vision, your future goals, your values, of what that industry means to you and really express your passion for the job that you're searching for or the field. You also want to make sure that you share your portfolio with everyone for the greatest possible networking opportunities. Let people know what type of organization you're looking for and send them a link to your portfolio. And that's really all you need to do because then they will share it with other people. And then that's how the networking begins. There are lots and lots of types of portfolios. So I would say the most common portfolios that you'll see if you have even done any kind of searching around for portfolios are websites. Websites allow you a lot of versatility and they allow you to showcase a lot. So a website is really what I suggest you go with. but there are more options. The websites listed here are Wix, Weebly, Google Sites, Canva, Squarespace, and there's more like WordPress. And there's even more than that. But these I know are free. They're user-friendly. You can, they're pretty intuitive once you start navigating and exploring the sites. And when you get started, it becomes easier and easier. Because I know some of you are probably thinking, wait, I have to develop a website. And I promise you, they've made them so user-friendly, and sites like Wix and Weebly and Canva, well, Canva has a built-in portfolio section. Wix and Weebly were really designed for developing a portfolio. And they really are the perfect site to use. Another option are videos. So videos often are used for people who are in TV or movies, editing, post-production type of careers. But I have seen instructional designers, graphic designers use a video option and then attach it to their portfolio website. So if you aren't in a design type of career field and you want to use a video, you could even do an introduction about you. And then your future employer can hear you talking about yourself. They could see your personality and again, gain a little bit more of a personal connection with you. And then you can add that into your portfolio as well. If you haven't checked out InVideo yet, so that is the name of the site, is InVideo. It is a new AI tool. You literally just type in your script and it creates a video for you. It does have the options of adding your images. So if you do want to use it for a bio, let's say, it will add music. It will add a voiceover automatically. It's really incredible. So check that out if you haven't had time to explore InVideo. Another one is LinkedIn. So a lot of people will say, well, I have LinkedIn, that's my portfolio. And that's okay too. It's a great place to lay out all of your experience and to make connections with other people, right, who are in similar fields. And you should absolutely use LinkedIn as a networking tool, but you can't quite showcase your work the way you can in a portfolio. So my recommendation is to link your portfolio site, video, blog, whatever you choose, directly to LinkedIn. And you'll want to make sure you add it in multiple places within LinkedIn on your LinkedIn page so that it doesn't get missed. If you only have it at the top next to your name, it could easily get missed, excuse me. So as you move through the LinkedIn page, there are multiple places where, even in experience, you could say, check out my digital portfolio for, critical information about me and about my work. In addition to that, you want to make sure you have it on your resume. Okay, so LinkedIn, your resume, and then if you're submitting your resume anywhere, and sometimes it's via email, they want you to email the hiring manager or hiring director for the position. I recommend putting your site directly into the email as well. And then that way it doesn't get missed. And I actually just in the corner of my eye saw in the chat, pop up cover letters too. Yes, put it wherever you can so that it can be viewed, because it really will separate you from others. The option of a blog for a portfolio, I am going to show you one in a little bit. These are great for writers and anyone who wants to go into the field of journalism or with an extensive writing career. Then a blog is fabulous, and I'll show you an example of one of those. And then finally, National has two options currently. One, the ePortfolio, which is in NCU1 for students in the one-to-one model, and then Portfolium, which is in the class-based model through Brightspace. So I don't have a lot of information about these two today. I do know that you are welcome to reach out to Career Services or IT to get further assistance with using either of these. The one thing that I do recommend is that if you choose to use one of these two portfolio creative sites or tools, excuse me, be sure that you find out that you can take it with you, because I've seen often in campus, in university tools that expire when you graduate from your program and you leave, and then it's gone. So just make sure it's something that you can use later down the line. But honestly, the websites are the way to go. And I'm probably a little biased just because I've seen students create them. I've seen the success that comes out of them. And that's honestly my real recommendation would be to use one of the websites. Okay, so how are you going to create this portfolio? So you want to make sure that you have a short blurb about yourself. You want to make sure that you are represented in your portfolio and that your employers can see exactly who you are, your beliefs, your values, like I said earlier, your goals, your future goals, your aspirations, should all be represented. Then you want to add artifacts. The artifacts should 100% be quality over quantity. Many of you are in programs and you've got so much work that you've been doing, either papers or projects, presentations, and work that you're really proud of. But you want to really pick probably 3 or 4 key pieces of original work that represent you and what you would really want to show off. Sometimes when it's too much, it can be overwhelming, too much to look at. An employer won't be able to get through all of it. And then you want to also add some versatility within those projects. So you wouldn't want to just show 4 presentations. You want to make sure that there's a mixture of different pieces of work or artifacts that you're showcasing. Additionally, it's really important that you are able to tell a story or provide context for the work or artifacts that you're selecting. So the last thing you want to do is just on a page have 4 projects and nothing about those projects. Oftentimes employers won't open every project to see the work, but if you provide a paragraph or so of context about that work, then that is really valuable. How did you achieve the end result for that project? What challenges did you have to overcome? What surprised you in the process? This really helps employers understand your thought process throughout a project, and perhaps even some problem-solving skills, which is wonderful and what they're always looking for. Share what you believe in and what you stand for. So your vision or your philosophy really sets you apart, because a lot of people don't think that organizations care about their vision or philosophy. But when an employer opens that piece and is able to see your philosophy or vision, then they know that how you might connect directly with their vision and their philosophy. And that's so important, because if an employer is looking at it and you're a perfect fit, right, then there's no question that you would most likely get an interview, which is the end goal of this, and then a position where you want to be. So if you are going to apply for leadership jobs, then you would want to include your leadership philosophy. If you're going to be a future teacher, what is your teaching philosophy? What is your vision? What kind of school do you want to be at? Same thing for business. What's your philosophy when working with potential clients? What kind of organization do you want to work for? And what do you represent? So all of those things are so, so important. And then to continue, you want to make sure that you're structuring your portfolio clearly by categories. So it might be by project type or skill set or the industry. Keep it clean, visually appealing, user-friendly. I think we've all gone into websites and sometimes have gotten lost because they're crowded. You're not sure what to look at first. So that's what you want to avoid. You want to have minimal text, keep it simple and easy to navigate. Using images or videos really make your portfolio visually appealing, but they also really allow you to demonstrate your work real time. If you're a graphic designer or in marketing, then you will want to show off your work with, clear images or videos. And if you're going to be, let's say, a teacher in a classroom, then it would be helpful for you to show yourself working with students. If you're in healthcare, you can show pictures of you in that environment as well. Don't make your portfolio with too much text. So it really is just a snapshot. So your bio, your context for projects, your philosophy, these are all just snapshots of what you would want an employer to see. Also, highlighting testimonials. If you have things that your, direct supervisors have said about you, if you have letters, reference letters, include those. Testimonials really provide social proof and add credibility to your portfolio. So it really shows a lot about your character. And that is honestly number one in so many organizations. You may even have testimonials on your LinkedIn page already. You could move those over as well so that they can definitely not get missed to your portfolio. And then I've seen students forget to add their contact information. So if you're ever just sharing your site, they have to be able to contact you from your site directly. So add your contact information and then continuously add new projects, new skills, new jobs, keep it fresh and relevant with your current level of expertise. Always keep it updated. And then some of this is going to be a little bit of repetition for what I've said, but I think it's worth repeating. Too many examples will dilute the impact of what you're trying to accomplish with the portfolio. So just focus on your most impressive pieces. Like I mentioned earlier, don't only show your work, please definitely explain it. And I can say this just because I've seen so many students that I've worked with in the past on portfolios directly, and they'll send them to me and say, hey, do you mind, taking a look at my portfolio? And I go in there and I see like 4 or 5 great examples of work, but then I open them, some are papers, some are presentations, and it would require me to read everything to really understand what the project is. So the context is so, so important. At the same time, don't overwrite. Be aware of using links that may expire. And I'm going to show you an example of one that I found in just a bit. And then you don't include anything that might require a sign-in. So, some people want to include Google Docs. If the right permissions aren't shared, the future and potential employer will click on it and then it's going to say, please log in, and then they can't see it. Ensuring that your site will work on a cell phone or an iPad is always important because you never know where the employer will be reviewing the work. And then for posting images of others, you always want to make sure you get consent from people before posting them on your site. So that includes adults, and then children you can't include. So always blur faces of children, or I've seen people just put little happy face stickers over those as well. Okay, so we are just going to stop here for a second and see if we had any big questions pop up. in the chat or if anyone has any questions and wants to come off mute.
Great, thank you so much. Yeah, so today's focus really, thank you so much, Dr. Sublette, is focusing on just the importance of using portfolios to capture or display your work. You've given some really great strategies or tips of what to include as students look at creating digital portfolios. I'm just going through the chat to see if there's any questions at this time. I don't see any questions about the topic so far that you've covered. So I'll just pause one more moment. I know that some people are excited to get to some of the examples because they're visual learners.
Yes,
So
yes.
I'll
Thank
pause
you for this
there
question.
and, hey, hi,
Hi,
Miss.
my name is Mansoor. I apologize. Had to join a little late. I was in a previous meeting. Will we be able to get a copy of this video somehow at the end?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. And then I think that'll answer a lot of my other questions. Thank you, guys.
Yes,
Thank
yeah,
you.
we'll be sharing the recording and this presentation, so you'll have all the resources and links that I'm about to share as well.
All right.
And
thank
I
you.
saw a little comment in the chat regarding career services. So at this time, there's just not a ton of knowledge around the use of the Portfolium. But, you know, I went in and I navigated, and it does give you a chance to build a portfolio. The big questions, I think, are how does that Portfolium site use the portfolio? I saw like a networking opportunity within Portfolium, so that would be interesting to find more, more about that. And then is there a way to export the portfolio somehow out of Portfolium? So I think those are big questions that we can, further investigate and hopefully be able to circle back.
Back to some of the examples that you have, Dr. Sublette, from some of the outside resources that you've used in the past. And I don't know if anyone has checked out the InVideo site as well. I'm pretty excited to go ahead and take a look at that. I love the idea of being able to make an introduction video of yourself using that AI software. Sounds pretty cool. For now, we don't have any other questions, so we'll dive into some of the examples.
All right, perfect. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to start by looking at, there are tons and tons of examples out there. If you just Google, sample portfolios or professional digital portfolio examples, you're going to get lots and lots of things. But some of these are my past students, and then some of these I found because I thought they'd be really great. You'll notice here that you see Weebly, Wix, Google, and then this was one of the blogs that I wanted to point out to you as well. So these are 3 free sites that I think are user-friendly, easy to navigate, and just you get better with practice. So we'll go ahead and just take a quick look at these. And so you should see here, so Brandon's portfolio, he's got just a candid picture right here on his homepage. Most of these sites, you'll need to scroll. So you see I'm just scrolling down. They typically have multiple pages that you click on. You'll see here across the top, the titles that you'll create, and then there are pages that you're going to scroll through. So here's a brief personal introduction. He has his core values identified right here. Unique leadership identities and how he's been a leader in the past. His why do I do what I do? Right, so that communicates that passion that I was talking about. Future goals. So you can easily see what he connects with, which is diversity and inclusion in the medical field. And then he also has his LinkedIn right down here. He even included an update to where he is currently. So he's in a PharmD program currently. And he kind of wanted to highlight that because he probably doesn't have it anywhere else within the portfolio. So that's important. That's that updating that I was referring to, keeping it updated. So then if I just click on the philosophy tab, more images. So you can just see how images help really bring the portfolio to life, right? So if this was just text, it wouldn't be nearly as interesting. Leadership philosophy, and so on. So recognitions, right? So those are those highlights of things that I was recommending that you show things that you're proud of. So he clearly achieved something really wonderful and wanted to share it. Okay, so, and then also associations that he's a part of. So that's important. Okay, and then now we're kind of at a point where there's tons and tons of text here. And if I'm a future employer, I don't know that I'm going to read through all of this. So just be careful when you put a lot of text on a page, because it could just get skipped over. So little key points and context pieces are really what is important. And then innovations in medicine, again, great accomplishments he's had. And then he even included a relearning how to learn, and talked about his experience in organic chemistry, the struggles and difficulty that he faced going through the process of having to relearn. And I think that that's so valuable because you're showing your thought process, you're showing your ability to push through something that maybe it's been a long time since you've looked at, but you're willing to push through the struggle to relearn it. So let's go ahead and take a look at another one. So that
Dr.
was,
Sublette, would
yes,
it be okay? I'm sorry, I have two questions that popped up and I was hoping maybe we could
yeah,
talk
no
about
problem.
them. Okay,
Yes.
great. Would you suggest bulleting the text for easier readability?
Yes, absolutely. I think anything that you can do to keep it organized and make it easy to follow and easy to read, absolutely. So subtitles, bullets, numbering, that all helps tremendously.
Thank you so much. And then
Yes.
maybe one of your examples goes over this, but what is the best way to highlight testimonials while keeping verbiage to a minimum? So maybe you have an example of that, but.
Yes, so I would recommend having a testimonials little tab as part of your tabs that you have across your site. And so if you have a testimonials tab, you can highlight in quotes things from maybe letters that your direct supervisors have written, professors have written about your work. And so you might have one or two statements in quotes. And so you could do like 4 or 5 of those with maybe a recommendation letter or two at the bottom of that page. And so that, again, that gives that social proof is what it's called, to validate your work and your character, which is really important.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sublette. That's it for now.
Yeah, no, thank you. Okay, so that was Weebly, and now we're going to look at Wix. So for this Wix site, currently is a substitute teacher. You can see that right up here. Has a quote. The quotes are great too, because it's a way for you to express something and get a message across with what aligns to your passion or values. And so I always love seeing quotes. Again, brief. Look how brief this introduction is. That's perfect. Here, this is a lot of tabs to include. Again, you can see why I say 3 or 4 is perfect. 3 or 4 key things that's going to allow an employer to connect with the work that would be relevant to what you're looking for in their organization. Relevant experiences. So because this is a teaching portfolio, there's lesson plan examples. And then over here, there's a more drop down. So resume, blog, and then contact information. So this is Wix, can be as simple as you want it to be, or as in-depth as you want it to be. All right. And then these will allow you to keep scrolling. It's just that her content stopped here and she decided to do little buttons of work for showcasing her work. And then I'm going to show you, let's come back down. Oops, what did I do? Sorry about that.
It's not a
There we go.
problem at all.
Got it. Okay, so this is Zuleika, and she also was, this is a education-based teaching Wix portfolio site. This is what I mean about organized. If I'm looking as an employer looking at this, I see here she is as a picture, a bio, and then what her classroom management philosophy would be, teaching philosophy would be, examples of lesson plans that she's done. And then in this place, this would be a good spot for pictures where she's actually worked with children, and pictures of her in a classroom with students would be really great here. And then resume. And so you can build your resume out directly into the site, is why I wanted to show you this page with a button at the bottom to allow for downloading of your full resume. And so that's just, you can see how nice and organized this can be. And I also really wanted to show you this one because it's very simple. This one is just clean and simple and, not too much text, not an overload of images. And she's able to communicate what she needed. This one is using the Google Sites. So Google Sites is free as long as you have an account. I mean, so many people have Gmail now. So if you just use your tab where you'd find like your Google Drive, you'll see Google Sites. And that is a place also really intuitive, easy to navigate, where you can build a really simple portfolio site like this one. So this is Emma's, and the tabs are right here on the left. As you can see, really organized, easy to follow. Wanted to include a quote, wanted to include an about me section. Resume. So this is where I wanted to show you, as an employer, I would now need to sign in and into my account to view her Google Doc that she put in this spot. So you want to be really careful about using any links or, documents that would need someone to leave your page and then sign in, or they won't maybe not even gain access at all. So you just want to be really mindful of that. And then the fields are like the field work that she did. So she has that highlighted across several years. Educational journey. Again, these were all Google Docs, so we can't look at them. And this is exactly what an employer would run into. So super, super important. And then if you do have volunteer work or associations, that's important to add and be proud of and highlight. So again, not a lot of text, but shows some context, shows what she's passionate about and what would be important for me in my organization if I'm going to hire someone. And then finally, we have the blog. So this is Clippings, is the name of this blog site. And it allows you to add in all of your writing. So this particular person is a writer and does articles on travel life, business life, and love. So it's kind of like a mixture of things. And so here are the articles that were written by this person. So I thought this was really great to show that if you have an interest in writing, or you're going to pursue some kind of field in writing in the future, this blog site would be a great way for you to demonstrate the versatility that you have in your writing, and also showcase lots and lots of writing in a quick and easy way without someone having to download PDFs, for instance. And so that's that on the examples. So hopefully that helped, just seeing some examples. Again, I encourage you to Google. If you just Google sample portfolios, you're going to see lots and lots of examples come up. Some other resources that I wanted to give you as well. So as you all know, or hopefully know, Career Services can further guide you as you pursue new career options. So don't forget about Career Services. Not necessarily but for developing portfolios, but they can help you in so many ways. And I bet if you had someone that you wanted to connect with, just to even take a look at your portfolio, they could give you some advice and help guide you connect to that employer directly. Because I think that's the key piece, is what do I have to bring to this organization that's going to make a direct impact and connection and align myself with. And then the Academic Success Center is wonderful for writing assistance. So if you think, gosh, I know I have a philosophy somewhere, and I just am not sure how to put it on paper, or you've got this great vision, but you're not sure how to communicate it, the Academic Success Center Writing Center would be excellent for something like that, because they can help you get started. Coursera and Skillshare are courses. They actually have tons and tons, like thousands of different classes that you can take at an affordable price. And they offer courses on building portfolios specifically step by step. So if you think that after you've gone to some of those sites and you're thinking, gosh, I'm lost, I don't know if I can do this, then first reach out to IT, because IT might be able to help you, but then reach out and see. Even LinkedIn Learning has portfolio courses, but I think they're a little more on the expensive side than Coursera and Skillshare. They really are affordable. And then Dribbble.com is where you should go for tons of portfolio examples, and I mean tons. There's lots of great design ideas too. Like if you're looking and you're just thinking like, what would the background image be? Zuleika had like the world, what am I going to put as my background that connects to me? And then finally, this was something that I came across that I thought was super helpful. 25 unique design portfolios to inspire you, and it's across fields. Great examples, all kinds of variety. So this I recommend going to. And then finally, YouTube. If you go to YouTube and you just search portfolios or professional portfolios or developing professional portfolios, then you will find great videos that come up that will show you step by step how to do it as well. And you could also even search things like how to use Wix to create my portfolio, or how to use Weebly to create my portfolio. And you will get some really great examples. So use those resources, and I hope that really helps. So final thoughts. Just remember, it's an opportunity to show your work and to stand out. So it really will allow an employer to connect to you beyond a resume. Think about it. If you have this resume that you're sending, right, a sheet or two of paper versus an entire site, then you can see the difference, and you can see how you're going to differentiate yourself from the rest, and hopefully be a standout candidate. All right, and I've seen so much success, so much success. I've had students come back to me and say, thank you, thank you. Like, I don't think I would have gotten this if I didn't have this site because there were 200 people applying for that position. All right, so that's it. Any final questions?
Yeah, we have two. Thank you, Dr. Sublette. I'm so excited to check out some of these resources. And one of the things, and I know you just mentioned Dribbble, so I don't know if maybe this one applies to it, but someone had asked, is it possible to find portfolios that are major or career specific, reflecting what other academic peers might be doing with their, how is there a way to search, I guess, in
Yes.
categories?
Yes. Yes, I would definitely add the field that you're looking for specifically in your search, because then you will get mostly just that field.
Okay.
But even if you just go through and, search some of these sites, you'll see all kinds of, I've seen law, healthcare, business. I've seen every field pop up. So, really just take your time. It's worth the search in finding what you're looking for. And yes, I do think you'll find what you're looking for. There's a lot.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you for that clarification. That's really great. Another question in the Q&A, and then I see there is a hand raised. What's a universal doc sharing option that you might recommend? It's okay if you don't have the answer to a suggestion for this, but I thought I would ask.
Well, PDF, I recommend using PDF for any documents that you're going to include. The same goes for any presentations. You can pretty much convert any presentation that you make to a PDF as well. I think that would be the universal document. And then you typically these sites give you the option for the document to open up right in the site, or they can download it if they're really interested in reviewing it further.
Thank you, Dr. Sublette. Let me see if Gina is able to unmute, hopefully.
Hi, thank you so much. Piggybacking off that previous question, this was really helpful. I never heard of even creating a portfolio, and it seems like these days the resume is just simply not enough. I'm somebody who does have like my own personal website for my business, but as someone or as myself, who I feel is very multifaceted, where I have like a background in education and also like event planning and coordination. Do you feel like it's a weakness or a strength to showcase that multifaceted nature on one portfolio, or is it better to have like a different portfolio and website for your different industries and areas?
Yeah, I think it really depends on what you're pursuing. So, if I'm pursuing business, like let's say I've just decided to change courses, or would you want to share kind of are you looking to pursue something completely new?
Yeah, I am interested in pursuing something new.
Okay.
Or like for my website, it's definitely like focuses on my services.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so then, yeah, that's great. I would showcase everything then, because even everything that you've described from your past are service-oriented jobs and experiences.
Mhm.
So if you're going to stay in that service directed field, then all of that sounded relevant to me. So I would put all of it on there.
Okay.
Yeah. And it
Yeah.
shows, again, it shows that the versatility that you have and the multiple types of experiences, which I think are so important.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Great
Thanks for asking.
question.
Yeah, really good question.
Okay, so I think I've taken care of, we were able to address all the questions in the chat and in the Q&A at this time. So at this time, Dr. Sublette, I just want to say thank you so much for coming and showing us some of these really cool resources that we can explore on our own time. And just so everyone knows, you'll get a copy of the presentation. It'll be a PDF version, but you'll have access to the resources from today's session. So you can review at a later time. And I think without any other questions that are going to be, oh, we do have one more question. Are
One
you
more
able to
question.
unmute?
Thank you, Emily. Yes. My question is reference to chronological order. Should anything be chronological ordered, or is it just kind of like under the tabs? Do we chronological order it? Like, what are your thoughts as far as chronologically identifying?
It depends. I think if you feel like you need to showcase, dates or timelines, great. I think do that only if it's been consistent work, right? So if you have a huge gap in project presentation or, various work pieces and there's like 5 years, because then it might look like you did nothing for 5 years and you don't want that.
Sure. Right.
So I would just I'll definitely always put in the most recent. And then you could, identify things that aren't dated beyond that.
Wonderful. Great answer. Yeah, because I was just thinking like there are gaps in my resume per se, but
Yeah.
it's also important. So like I should
Right.
still list what I've done, but it's okay if the date isn't linked to it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why if any of you are in school currently and not working, school fills that gap. And that's kind of just a known thing, right? Employers know like, oh, they're in school, like that's a full-time job. So your projects that you're doing in your program, can fill that gap. If you feel like I need to put a timeline to let them know that I've been doing this for 10 years or 15 years or whatever it is, then great. But you don't have to really, because you're just showcasing and highlighting your work. So as long as it's relevant to the employer, then I wouldn't worry about dates.
I was gonna be funny and say they could probably date it by just looking at my pictures.
I do want to thank you so much, Dr. Sublette, for bringing some of these ideas to our student population. Of course, it's beneficial to our staff and faculty as well at NU. So I really do appreciate you taking the time to bring some of these resources to our NU community. And until the next time, I'm going to go ahead and say thank you so much to everyone who has come today in our session and any of the questions that you have asked. It's been really great. Just so you know, Dr. Sublette, lots of people have said thank you so much for the great information in the chat, and we really do appreciate everyone's time. Until the next time, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and farewell for now.